Hello, my name is Chucks, and this is a short video that I'm making just to accompany a class that I'm doing for Eve University about planetary interaction. Rather than attend a class and watch me try and go through this in a disorganized way, I thought it would be better to put together something in advance so you could have a look through at your leisure, pause, rewind if you want. So here I am on an alt in Aldrat, the home system of Eve University, and I want to start planetary interaction. We're going to set up a planet to extract some minerals and produce something, just to show people how it's done very briefly. I'm going to try and go as quickly as I can because it will get really boring otherwise. If you've come to this video through YouTube and having not attended a class in Eve University, then apologies if you don't get it all, but you should have gone to university. Okay, let's have a quick look at this character. Okay, so here he is. He's a relatively low skilled character with 1,000 skill points, so it could be a new player. Okay, and I decided that I would train enough skills that it would take me less than 24 hours to get where I want to go, because I know how precious skill training time is at the beginning of playing Eve. So here we are, less than 24 hours training, and I have command centers 3, which will give me a certain amount of power on my command centers on each planet. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I have interplanetary consolidation 2, which means that I'll be able to use 3 planets in this system, or in total, to extract and process minerals. And I've got remote sensing 3, which allows a scan within 5 light years to look at the planets and see what the density of the minerals are. You'll see what I mean again in a minute, so don't worry too much. The main reason for me to show this screen is to show you that this is a character with a very low number of skill points. What else do I need? Well, I need a ship. Okay, what I have here is an epithal. It's a kind of Galente industrial. The thing that's annoying about it, though, is that it has a very unusual cargo bay with this planetary commodities area where you can keep 58,500 meters cubed of planetary commodities, which is fantastic. But to actually deploy a command center and set it up on a planet, unfortunately there isn't enough room in this normal cargo bay of 550 meters cubed. So what you have to do is you have to fit expanded cargo holds to get that up to 1,000. These cargo holds don't actually impact the amount of storage you have available for your planetary commodities for some reason, but it does give you enough space now to fit a command center module in your hold, which you need to be able to do in order to deploy it on a planet. If you're in trouble and you haven't trained Galente Industrial, then there are other options, the simplest of which is probably to use an Imicus or one of the other races' exploration T1 frigates. You will need to fit expanded cargo holds into the bottom slots, but that only gets you up to 800 meters cubed. So what you have to do is train the skills and fit a couple of small cargo hold expander rigs. If you've already got those skills, then that'll work for you. Otherwise, probably better just getting the industrial. Okay, so I tell you what, we'll use our frigate. Now, the good thing about using a frigate for this, obviously, is although you have a small cargo capacity, it's nice and zippy when you're whizzing around the system. Now, I'm in high sec, so I don't have to worry about being blown up by anybody, so any bad guys out there, I should be protected by the lovely Concorde. Let's undock and have a look and see what planets are available. Okay, so I'll just undock. Okay. Whoa, extreme close up. Right, so I'm out in space now, and I'm having a look at what's going on. I think I'll use my pod saver overview setting, and what that means now is that I can see all the planets and I can see what type they are. So I've got 3 gas planets, 3 barren planets, a lava, an oceanic, and a temperate. Right. So now what I need to decide to do is, what am I going to make? Well, I think I will make mechanical parts, because I can make those on a barren system and that will work very nicely. Right, we'll discuss the choices that you make about what you make in the class, and therefore I won't go into the detail now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dock up, and I'm going to buy myself a barren command center and put it in the cargo hold of my Imicus.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the market. Alright, and I'm going to select Barren. Barren Command Center. Unfortunately, someone's selling them at a vastly inflated price. Thank you to that person. So I will buy this one. Yes, I know, I'm being ripped off. I'm going to put it in my cargo hold. There it is. You can see it's pretty big. 1,000 meters cubed. I've only just got space in my little frigate for that, but that'll be fine. Okay. So now I'm going to show you the manufacturing path for mechanical parts. There'll be an edit in the video, and I'll come back to you when we're ready to go out and actually deploy and start setting it up. Okay, so have a quick look at this diagram here, which tells us about how to manufacture different things. I use these diagrams extensively and they're available, and I'll try and put a link below into where you can find them. The Eve PI diagrams version 1.4 is this one. So we're going to make mechanical parts, which is a prerequisite actually for organic mortar applicators. For a number of other things, I know people also use them, I think, in POSs and things like that. So there's quite a good market for them. They're only a P2 product, so they're not going to be making you ISK rich, but having said that, they sell well and they're easy to make. So here's a few things we need to take note of. We need to extract noble metals and base metals, and then we're going to use basic processes to turn them into precious metals, reactive metals. Now we're going to combine them in another processor to make mechanical parts. Then what we'll do is we'll take those off the planet and sell them for profit. And as you can see, as I already predicted, and you can see the little letters down at the bottom here, the 2 orange B's indicate that we can actually make both of those products on a barren planet, or indeed a plasma planet if there was one around, and that means that we can have our little factory making mechanical parts on a single planet and do everything we need to do to get mechanical parts on one planet, which the way that I do PI is an advantage because it makes it easier. Okay, let's go back into Eve now and deploy our command center and make some mechanical parts. Okay, so I've got my little Imicus here with my barren command center ready to deploy in its cargo hold. We went out earlier and checked that there was a barren planet in the system. Now, just one thing before I do that, let's have a look at the science and industry window. Okay, and I like to just dock that in my main window. And I'm going to click on the Planets tab, and as you can see, I've already got a couple of planets operational in this system because I'm preparing for a class and I wanted to do a little bit of experimentation. So we need to choose another barren planet than this one, which is Aldrat 4, because obviously we can't put two systems on one planet. So let's go out. Okay, I'm going to go to my pod saver overview. I'm going to look at the Baron, and I think I'll try Aldrat 3. So we're in safe space, so I don't have to worry about being ganked by a baddie. So we'll just warp to that planet.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Once you've actually deployed your command center, you can pretty much do everything else from inside the station. So you don't really need to bother too much about this, apart from when you're deploying. And in high sec, it's not really a big deal unless you happen to be at war. Okay. So here we are at the planet. Very beautiful. I'm going to view it in planet mode. Perfect. Okay. Now. Okay, remember what we said from our diagram. We're going to be looking for noble and base metals. We're going to be making precious and reactive metals. And we're going to be turning them into mechanical parts. Okay, so we need to do a scan. So I'm going to click on the scan button. I'm going to look for base metals first, I think. I can't see very much going on here, though. I see a slight discoloration here, so I'm going to increase the sensitivity of my scan here. Okay, see if I can just highlight any patches. We need a nice big patch. Right, I like look at that one. Now I'm going to see if I can find some noble metals in the vicinity of this nice big patch of base metals I've seen. No, not really. Okay, maybe we need to increase the sensitivity a little bit. One of the problems with high sec is that there isn't an abundance of resources on the planet, so the productivity is a lot lower. But having said that, it's safe, so you know, it's got its good sides too. Right, so I can see the little patch of noble metals, slightly more abundant than other parts. I've got some base there. Okay, right, with the sensitivity turned up, you can see that it's much more obvious. So I think I'm going to plonk my command center somewhere here, near where it is. So I'll go to Build, Command Center, Baron Command Center, and I'm going to plonk it on there. Submit. Doesn't really matter where the command center is, it doesn't need to be close to where you're building your units, but I just like to have it around. It's like a little pet doggy. Woof. Okay, the other thing we need to do is we trained a little bit of command center upgrades, so I'm going to upgrade my command center as far as I can. This does cost ISK, as you can see, 2.7 million. I'm going to upgrade it. Lovely. Without any power upgrades at all, you'll be very limited in what you can achieve on a planet, and obviously your profitability will increase. As I said, I spent less than 24 hours training this toon, so you know, you should be able to achieve something modestly successful with a relatively small amount of training. Right, I don't need that anymore. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll slap down a couple of extractor control units, because I'm going to be extracting two lots of stuff. Okay, let's just have a look and see where that is again. Right, no problems. Okay, so there's extraction control unit. I tend to set up my planets so that I don't have to come back to them very much, because I like to leave it for weeks to run, so I like a bit of buffer storage. But if you are assiduously going and doing it every day, you might choose a slightly different layout, and I know I'm not the most efficient. This is just the way I do it because it works for me. Feel free to leave a comment if you think there's a better way. I'm always interested in that. So we'll need, I think I'll put a spaceport in. Spaceport's important so we can get stuff off the planet. So we've got two extractor control units which will extract the stuff out of the planet. A launch pad so we can send stuff up and down to the customs office. Okay, we'll have a couple of basic processors, I think. Okay, and we'll have an advanced processor to make our mechanical parts. Okay, now I'm going to connect these all together by holding down the control button, clicking, and then taking my finger off the control button and landing the link. That's the way I find the most easiest. Okay, cool. And let's submit that. Right. Might as well set up some extraction. So we'll go to the extractor control unit. Now we're looking for base, aren't we? Base. Okay, and we'll go for a couple of days because I really can't be asked to come back within 24 hours. Fine. We'll try 4 extractors. Put it on a nice big patch. I wonder if there's somebody else extracting here. Look, there's a bit of a depletion there. Never mind, fine, whatever. I'll store that. Okay, good. Now I need to make sure that my stuff is rooted, so I'm going to click on the center, double click on base metals, and route it to my launch pad, which I'm going to use as storage as well. Submit that. Right, so I'm now extracting base metals, and I'm going to dump them in the launch pad. The other one I need to extract is noble metals, if I recall correctly. So we'll go noble. So was the last one. Right, we'll have 4 of these fellas. I may be able to fit in more extractors, but I'll probably optimize it later, but this will do just to get us going. We'll go for 2 days-ish. Yeah, cool. And we'll install that. Submit it. I just spam submit as often as I remember, just so I don't lose anything. Sometimes you can get confused. The big trick with PI is just making sure everything's connected up. If it's not working, chances are you just haven't got the routes and links set up properly. So I'm going to link that to the launch pad, create route, submit. Right, so if we zoom in a bit, we should be able to see little lines moving. Yeah, that's looking good, and the white lines are in the middle, indicating that something's actually happening. Right, now if I recall correctly, we're going to be making precious and reactive metals. So these are our basic processes. So let's just put the blueprints in. Precious metals, double click. Oh, that's nice. We're going to double click and route it back to the launch pad. So everything needs an in and an out, or it's not going to work. Reactive metals. Double click. Double click to route it. Back to the launch pad. Create route. Remember that I made these little links between them. If you're having problems, it's probably part of the issue. And now we're going to put some, in our advanced processing unit, we're going to make some mechanical parts. There it is. Double click. And route it back to the launch pad. Okay. Just out of interest, how much power have we used? 84%. So I can put some more extractors down later if I want to, you know, increase the productivity. Okay, now, what we've done is we've routed the raw product to the launch pad and the output of all of these 3 processing facilities to the launch pad, but we haven't routed the feedstock out to the individual processes themselves, so we're going to do that now. So a number of different ways you can do this. This is what I like to do. So that's the precious one. That's the reactive one. So I'm going to click on my launch pad and I'm going to click on the routes button and I'll see the stuff coming in. You can see incoming, incoming. So incoming base metals, I'm going to route to this one here, which is making my reactive. Submit that. And incoming, click on routes. Noble metals, create route to this one, which is making my precious metals. Submit. Right, now if I click on these factories here, now I should see an incoming and an outgoing, and I know I'm good. Incoming base metals, outgoing reactive metals. Right, that's going to work. Yeah. Now I need to click on my advanced factory, and I need obviously reactive and precious metals to make mechanical parts. I'm going to click on my launch pad. Okay. Where are we? precious metals, create route. Difference between an advanced factory is that it has requirement for 2 different metals. Reactive metals, create route. So you need 2 things coming in. If you click on it, you can see what it's making and what's coming. Let's just check I've got that routing right. Yes, it's got precious and reactive metals coming in, mechanical parts going out, and the mechanical parts will end up here. So this is now going to work. Now, obviously being on a high-sec planet with relatively low abundance of materials and with modest skills, it's not going to be making a huge amount, but over the course of time it will gradually build up and we can pop back at some point in the future. I could have set the extraction period to 2 weeks, and we could have come back in 2 weeks and just pick up our booty. So it's pretty low effort if that's the way you want to play the game. And with this excess power, I could potentially put down duplicates of these until I've optimized the amount of power output and the amount of material I'm extracting from the planet, because each of the extractors takes additional power, and by doing so I maximize my output. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to leave this running. What we could do is we can have a look at one that is already running. So you can see down on my science and industry here, I've got some other planets running. Let's have a look at Aldrat 4, which is one I set up earlier. Cool, okay, right, so this looks like it's working correctly. You can see with the solid bands on the outside that that one's got an orange all the way around the outside, indicating that it's got everything it needs to process. This one here's got a greyed out bit, can you see? That means that it's missing some minerals. Yeah, so it hasn't got all the reactive metals it needs, and that's just because my extractors can't keep pace with my processing. But let's have a look in this one. I've actually got a little extra storage here, which I put in for some reason. But the end product, so you can look in the storage here, we can see that it's also making mechanical parts. We've got base metals, which is a raw material, and we've got, base metals and noble metals, which are raw materials, and some extra precious metals there. This is my product in here, and hopefully there's some mechanical parts. Yeah, look, I've made 170 mechanical parts. Okay, right, that's working away quite nicely. So I think what I'll do, actually, while I've got you on the video, is we'll fly to that planet and we'll pick up our booty. Okay, so I'm going to right click on the planet in the science and industry. I'm going to walk to the customs office.
Warp drive active.
And although this frigate's got a relatively limited amount of storage, in high-sec we're not making huge quantities unless we're waiting a long time, so I should just be able to fit whatever I've got in my cargo hold and go and sell it. Okay, we're going to access it. Right click on the customs office and access it. We're going to have to pay to transfer this stuff up. So this is going to cost us almost 200,000 ISK, which is a little bit outrageous, but I guess the university gets the money, doesn't it? Okay, what I need to do is oh, that's what I've done there. Access it again, and I'm going to drag the mechanical parts into my cargo bay. Cool. And now I'm going to go back to base.
Warp drive active.
Okay, well that's actually taken a bit longer than I expected, so we've probably been at it for what, 20 minutes? Apologies for the length of that, but hopefully we better pause it and see what's going on while we go through the different stages. I'm going to be honest with you, planetary interaction is not the most highly entertaining aspect of EVE, but if you've got 4 or 5 of these planets in a system quietly ticking away to themselves, and they're making P2 products like mechanical parts for which there is a fairly lively market, you're going to be having a fairly nice semi-passive income. And if you go on holiday for a week or you're out of game for a while, they'll still, as long as you set them up, happily tick away. All you need to do is go it back in and reset your extractors and it should go again. It's not the optimal way to do it, but it is the easy way, and that's the way that I like to do it. So here we go, mechanical parts. Let's sell them and see what we can get for them. Now normally I'd probably place a sell order, but I'm feeling particularly lazy today, so I think, look, that bastard has overcut me by 1 ISK. The swine. Anyway, never mind. Let's just sell them because I can't be asked. There we go. 1 million ISK.